What's your prediction for the Area 51 raid? A dozen people show up, stare awkwardly at one another in the middle of the desert without speaking for several minutes. They sit, hope more show up. One checks Pokemon Go. Eventually, they gain enough confidence to break the ice. They go back home and create some dope memes for the rest of us that were just playing along with the joke. I think they'll show up, realize there is no Wi-Fi, and then quickly disperse. The army will be forced to set out an aid station with water and sunscreen, because, of course, no one brought nearly enough. 50 pissed Nevada National Guard medics hand out sunscreen to idiots. Few friends of mine are in the military. Basically they'd be happy to hand out stuff to stupid people while thanking them for breaking the monotony. The National Guard are the ones most likely to get called for something like this, and I won't be happy to be on fucknut sunscreen duty. Active duty though I can totally see being happy to go get things changed up a bit. Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nerd raid. Bunch of food trucks and $7 bottled water sellers show up. 150 people also show up, eat and leave. And then it happens every year cause it's so fun. A few years down the road it becomes a new alien space themed music festival called The Hitchhiker's Guide to Music Festivals, and it'll all be so fun that aliens will start showing up, but no one will believe that they're aliens cause everyone's tripping already. I can see this turning into an alien themed Burning Man Coachella Comic Con complete with food trucks, vendors, guest speakers. If it actually happened, the military has a great opportunity to test new crowd dispersal technology and non-lethal weapons. Conspiracy theory: this whole event was set up by the military to test their new crowd dispersal technology and non-lethal weapons. What better place to test weapons than a weapons testing facility? Maybe they have some equipment there that can't be moved. That's why they needed to bring the crowd to the weapons instead of the weapons to the crowd? Takes tinfoil hat off. 12 lonely people who are gonna stand out there, get ready, and then not. Government's gonna have to waste a lot of money on prepping for an actual event, though. The people are gonna be warned they can be legally shot if they enter and storm, and then either A. They back off, B. They enter and get killed, C. They discover the minefield. Yeah right, a few of those would go off, people would rain back down, and the rest better get wise fast. I hope some of them wear GoPros or stream it somehow. I want to see this clusterfuck happen. I agree. The government will probably be unwilling to take any chance of not being prepared. Especially so given that Area 51 almost certainly does contain military secrets of a non-extraterrestrial variety. I actually think Area 51 exists to hide the fact that there is an Area 52, where the real shit goes down. 97% of the folks who've said they were going won't attend. The remaining 3% will cancel due to lack of numbers. I really want 300,000 people to show up. It'll never happen, but it would be one of the greatest things in the history of this country if they went guns blazing Mad Max on Area 51. It would be in the history books. 300k would be enough to peacefully seize control of Washington DC and the country, as per the Dodge. As in 1% of the population mobilizing in one place like that is a force you pretty much cannot stop. Too many to disperse non-lethally, and the cascading effect of killing such a large group would send the entire country into a legit civil war. Of course in reality it's pretty much impossible. The logistics of keeping 300k people going is something only the military can handle. It's an insane undertaking. The few people who actually decide to show will get disheartened once they realize just how remote the extraterrestrial highway is and how many hours of sagebrush they'll have to drive through to walk up to a perimeter fence and be stopped by authorities who stop everyone who even pulls over to pee remotely close to Area 51. Crazies regularly try to get onto Area 51. The government has experience dealing with this, or the government will just shut down the extraterrestrial highway for a while if they think it'll be a big deal. It's not like there are a lot of ways to access Area 51. It's a game people play out there. Drive up to the sign, wait for the white SUV to suddenly come driving down the hill towards you, then turn around and hightail it out of there. Gives those Air Force security guys a little break in the monotony. Is it illegal to just stand in front of the sign without crossing it? I'm imagining a bunch of MI being detained people would demonstratively lean over the line as far as they can and dare the military to do something. Story time. My ex-husband, myself, and our 4 children were driving in Nevada a few years ago. We weren't really near Area 51, but we did get turned around and wound up a little lost. Nothing around for as far as you can see. Suddenly, we were surrounded by 4 Humvees with guns on top. Had an escort out of the area. I'm freaking out the whole time. X is mildly amused. We are cleared and all 4 kids start screaming about how we almost broke into Area 51. Oldest daughter is almost 18, has been sharing this story everywhere today. LOL. They change the address on Google the night before so we all turn up at the wrong place. Let's just say a few thousand idiots manage to show up and think they can pull it off. Best case scenario. They make a run for the fence line. The base responds with an acoustic non-lethal device. Roughly 1/3 RD of the group goes down, clutching their ears. Many more go down as they get closer, determined to make the fence but ultimately failing. So maybe low 4-figure number actually make it within a few hundred yards of the fence line, in a significantly degraded state from a single non-lethal device. Cue the riot agents. A volley of tear gas canisters turns the last 5 football fields of distance to the fence line into a densely fogged snotfest. Another 50-60% become combat ineffective. Between the ringing in their ears, their inability to breathe, and the inability to see through the fog of gas, most of the group is unwilling or unable to proceed. A small number of intrepid individuals make it within 100 yards of the fence line. The searchlights come on. Between the fog, the tears, and millions of lumens of light in their face they can't see what the hell is going on. They shout directions at one another, but now they're only a few hundred yards from the acoustic devices, and nobody can hear shit. Except for the first salvo of warning shots from a 50-caliber HMG mounted to a Humvee nearby. Most of them scatter. A couple of brave souls aren't intimidated by the warning shots. By sheer dumb luck, they get to the fence line and pull out the wire cutters. One shouts, "We did it, Reddit," just before being turned into a fine pink mist by the 50s. On the base side, most of the 20 people required to actually repel this attack go back to the cafeteria laughing about it. The .50 gunner gets sent home, then to critical incident counseling. The other hundreds of guys who were on call up bitch that the morons didn't even break through the fence and trigger a real response, and that they wasted their night for nothing. Worst case scenario. Some idiot, or group of idiots in the crowd produces a firearm, and they manage to put effective fire on some of the guards. The guards respond in accordance with the row issued to them, defend the facility with reasonable force, up to and including deadly force if required. Simultaneously, several Humvees open up with .50 cal and 7.62mm machine gun fire. Along with whoever produced a firearm, hundreds of people who thought they were badass a few minutes ago are now casualties, lying on the ground wailing. Most people scatter, but more gunshots are heard from the crowd, each met with a burst of HMG fire in return, resulting in another pile of bodies. The sun rises on a battlefield that looks like a Game of Thrones scene. There are a few dead idiots with guns, and a lot of dead unarmed people who just got too close to the real idiots. Some people live stream the whole thing, their phones still broadcasting from their lifeless hands. Realistic, there doesn't even have to be idiots with guns, they just have to think there, so someone making a loud bang, firecrackers, or just something that a tired guard in blistering sun thinks looks like a gun. It could be kinda like Bloody Sunday. We piss off the aliens and they take over the earth. A boring event that in 10 years will be spun into a Hollywood action film that makes millions. We're coming to see the aliens. Government, you can't hide from us any longer. And just to make sure you can't do anything tricky, we're giving you 3 months advance notice.